Hey, a quick pause to tell you that Silas's birthday is coming up and 1 like equals 1 happy birthday for Silas. Now back to the video.
Hi folks, Frank Connors here again, reading to you this afternoon from Speaking Frankly. Silas, we call this the Silas and Frank Productions, and we are still just shy of our 100 subscribers. So if you have some friends or some people that you don't like, maybe you should subscribe them, because we have a good time. So I'm reading to you today. This is 2022 already. It's cold, cold, cold in Maine, and here we go. This one is called Walking on the River, and it was published for us in 2005, quite a while ago. All right. For me, walking on the river is a winter pastime. You'd pick a cold, crisp day, a blanket of snow on the land, a bright blue sky above, and just go. There need not be a destination in mind. Well, yeah, the river should be frozen. The fish and game people say 2 inches of ice is ample to support a guy my size. Me, I like to know there are 6 or 10 inches in most places before I lead my family, my friends, or myself onto the ice. If it's frozen under the bridge, that's even better. Only once have I fallen through the ice to my waist and found myself frightened, freezing, and kicking for my life. And I can tell you, once is enough, thank you very much. So I walk the Cadance or the Abergagasset rivers as a rule, the Kennebec or the Androscoggin if I'm feeling frisky, and if I know there's lots of ice. You'll notice all these rivers are tidal in the Bodenham area, and I pretty much know the shores like the back of my hand. It's always a plus to know where the roads and the bridges are, and if you're walking with friends, it's always nice to be able to point at stuff with a reasonable appearance of intelligence. My favorite destination has to be my neighbor John's smelting camp. There's nothing wrong with having a wood stove and a Molson somewhere in your afternoon's journey. As it works, John fishes on the middle grounds of the Cadance River in a small cluster of camps exactly 1 mile upriver from Bodenham Village. It really is a neat walk. There are bends in the river. You can park at the town landing if you're from out of town. It's free. And if it feels like a wild walk, I mean, you get around the corner from the bridge and from Jimmy's camps, you can make believe that you're 50 miles from nowhere. If you're lucky, you're going to see an eagle or two. There have been days when I've seen 4, but those are really good days. Some of the local guys place animal carcasses on the ice, and that seems to be a draw for the eagles. Also, the huge birds love it when fishermen throw waste fish and bait out onto the ice. Seeing an eagle circle over your head, then swoop down and snatch a fish off mirror-like ice is an image that many people can only imagine. On the Cadance River, I can show you right where to turn around and look back at the Bodenham Town Hall steeple, some 2 miles away. That usually impresses the easily impressed. If I'm really leading a tour, I know where to cut off to get over to Molasses Creek and to see its big granite railroad bridges. With my kids in tow a few years ago, we'd haul sleds or toboggans and a blanket or two. There would usually be a food bag on the back end of the toboggan, and always we'd find a sheet of glass-like ice and whip the whip until I fell on my head or one of the kids complained about getting dizzy. Sometimes, if it's really cold, we'd find a sheltered cove, break some kindling off a spruce or a pine, and build a tiny finger fire. We'd take an old gallon paint can, vent holes in its side, and just put a little fire in there. Don't need permits for that. On the Abergagasset, several friends have homes down near the shore, and it's always fun to wave at them as they stand behind their living room windows. They're nice and warm. Being called in for a cookie is never against anybody's rules. This same river is dotted with more smelt fishing camps, both singles or small colonies, and if you get upstream far enough, there's another railroad bridge on which to climb. I consider the Kennebec or Androscoggin rivers to be destinations. I don't often walk on them without a particular goal in mind. Swan Island off Richmond is a favorite walk for my family, and Baxter's Island off Bay Bridge Road in Topsom is on the Androscoggin trek is only of little consequence. I get a little unnerved on the bigger rivers, since currents, rot spots, and open water areas are much harder to predict. More years ago than I want to admit, two cousins were here for a visit, and we decided to go walking on the river one cold, clear night. It's always a delight to see the smoke curling from smelt shanty stoves, to see our shadows under the bright, muted moon, and to hear the muffled conversations of the fishermen as we walked through the two colonies nearest the bridge. Upriver, maybe a half a mile, I reminded one of my cousins, let's just call her Beth, that we were walking above tidal water and that the ice would be moving up and down with the tide, and she shouldn't be surprised to feel a little motion. Well, Beth was in the middle of a rebuttal lecture about how I shouldn't always assume that she's just a big city girl with no outdoor experiences, when the ice up and down river made a correction not unlike an artillery explosion, and everything settled under our feet maybe 2 inches. I was a little surprised. Beth was on her hands and knees and scurrying like a rat towards shore. The conversation was pretty sparse on the way home that night. An ice-sheathed river is a very different world, white, cold, even alien to what most people seek out for entertainment. But if you want a real taste of winter and really want to enjoy it, go walking on the river. Thanks for listening, folks.